Hi folks, Kirk Doty, your friendly neighborhood real estate guy here. I wanted to bring you the numbers for August and July for the real estate market. The numbers just came out for August from HAR, and I dropped the ball in July and never brought you a report. So I thought I would just do those together. They're both significant and relevant things happened in both months, so I thought they would pair well together, and we'll just cover both of those. So let's start with the single family home sales. July was the first month in 13 months that was actually down from year to year comparison. So July 21 versus July 20. July 21 was actually down 6%. So that's a first. In addition to that, it was a drop from the previous month, and we have not seen that either. Most of what we've seen this year have been sales numbers climbing each month and being up versus last year each month, both of those. And neither one happened in July. We saw a little bit of a reversal. Now there's a story behind this. July of 2020 was a record-breaking year in real estate. It was about the time that a lot of the COVID restrictions began to lift, and we saw a big surge in the real estate market in July of 2020. So some of it can be explained with that, but it is also a decrease from last month, or from the month prior, from June. Now in August, it was up over last year. It was up 8.5% versus August of 2020, but was still a little bit of a decrease from July. So once again, some of that's trend, but summary is the sales are still strong, but they do seem to be leveling just a little bit. So then we go to average sales price. So we did see the average sales price up versus last year. We've been seeing that all year long, but was a little bit of a decrease from June. And in August, it was also up 14%, but also a decrease in July. And I think a lot of that can be explained with typical trend in this category. So average days in the market, what we've pretty much been seeing all year is that average days in the market this year are half what they were last year. So basically it's taking half the length of time to sell a home that it was 1 year ago. And we saw pretty similar things in July. It was 56 versus 26 of this year. So it went from 56 days in 2020 to 26 days in July of this year. And that was 3 days shorter than it was the previous month in June. And we've been seeing a lot of that too, where it's 1 or 2 or 3 days shorter each month. It seems that window of time that it takes to sell a home shortens. But in August, although it pretty much cut in half from 51 to 26, the days in the market held steady from July. So July and August were both 26 days for the days on the market number. And then our total active listings, they've pretty much been down all year. That's just part of the indicator of inventory. There's not as much inventory as there was last year. Therefore, listings have been down when you look at them versus the year over year comparisons. So it's 20% down from July of last year. But there was 3,000 more listings in July than there was in June. So that's hopeful. And in August, it was also down 14.4%. You notice that percentage, that year-over-year percentage seems to be dropping a little bit each month too. That's a good sign. But it was 27,500 properties listed, and that was actually almost 300 more than we had in July. So we are seeing, in month-to-month comparisons, we are seeing inventory climb very gradually. Months of home inventory, best explained as if nobody put any new homes on the market and all we had was what was already on the market. This is the number of months that it would take for us to completely run out of homes to sell. So it was 1.8 this year in July versus July of last year, which was 2.9. But that's the second increase we've seen this year, so that's good. So we had 1.4 for 3 months in a row, and then in in June, it was 1.5. So we saw a little bump in June. We were all really happy about that. Now in July, we've seen it go from 1.5 to 1.8. And even better, in August, we see it go from 1.8 to 1.9. Still down versus last year, but now the third consecutive month that we've seen inventory increase. Although very slightly, it does seem to be heading in a higher direction each month. So a few other hopeful things. One of the things that I don't put in the report that is measured is the amount that we are outpacing the market. So in July, year to date, we were outpacing the market by 19%. And in August, our year to date outpacing number is now 17. So you see that number dropping a little bit each month. You also see it with the year over year percentage comparison numbers. The gap between this year and last year seems to be closing. And both those, I think, represent a trend that's very gradual, but headed towards a more balanced market. So what does it all mean? Well, it's still a great time to sell a house. If you're a seller, the market is still very strong for sellers. It's still categorized as a seller's market, but we are now seeing some indicators that the time is limited on that. At some point, we're going to see those inventory numbers climb enough to where they really add some balance to the market. And we're probably going to see those inflated sales prices due to the high demand, due to multiple offer situations. We're going to see those level off just a little bit. I think there's going to be some residual value that sticks with the homes even after that. But all in all, I think if you're planning on selling your home, the sooner that you can get to it is the better. Seller market is going to be stronger now than it will be in 3 months. I think we can say that. And although it's happening very gradually, now is the time to sell. For buyers, the news is good. Even though it's not happening fast enough, it is good news because we are seeing the number of offers in a multiple offer situation drop. There used to be 20, now there's 5. We're seeing inventory climb. We're seeing the availability of houses climb. We're seeing days on market, at least in certain situations that I've witnessed, we're seeing some houses actually stay on the market for 30 days or 45 days, depending on the situation. So buyers, do not fret. And sellers, if you're hesitating to sell because you don't want to be a buyer, don't fret. Sell your home. You will find that home of your dreams. You may have to get creative at the offer table. You may have to work a little harder and be a little more patient, but they're out there and the numbers are looking better. So stay tuned next month for more discussion. And anytime you want to reach out to me and discuss the other numbers that aren't in the report, there's numbers on leases, there's numbers on condos. I'm happy to discuss those with you as well. All right, let's go get it this week, guys. Have a great one. Bye-bye.